Well, we're back for episode 17.
17.
Wow, 17 weeks. That thing is just rolling along. Wild card weekend just passed, which I personally thought was really good football. I mean, we had some really, really good football games.
A lot of games.
A lot of games, close games. Steelers spotted the Browns 28 points. And for all you Browns fans out there that want to just jump all over me because, the Browns are the greatest and Baker Mayfield is going to be the next savior here in Cleveland and we're finally going to win a Super Bowl. You're not going to win a Super Bowl. You're not going to win a Super Bowl. The Steelers gave you 28 points. Hey, let's start this game out with a snap over the quarterback's head for a touchdown, 7 points. Let's throw 2 interceptions back to back right in your field of play where you can go score 28 points, 28-0. Then guess what? The Steelers kind of crept back in that thing. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. So I think moving forward, Cleveland's magical run this season is going to be over. I just think it's going to be over. And if you hear if you hear some loud noises, some chewing, some rattling, that's Brody eating a Gatorade bottle underneath the table. And if my mic cuts out, it's because he just chewed the cord, okay? And
that happens, yeah.
Nope, don't eat that, you
that
idiot.
Just happens.
Don't eat that. No. Here, how about this? Whoa. Go get it. It's like, you idiot. I'm not getting that.
No, I think.
What did you eat?
I don't know. You went against the Browns. I went with the Browns.
Yeah, the Browns
last week.
Whatever. The
Steelers just aren't good.
I think that the Browns defense was exposed in coverage. And who are they playing again? Kansas City.
I don't think Kansas City's that good.
Oh my goodness. What's he eating? Something?
Kansas City's favored by 10 in that game. Holy crap. No, I mean it was a long wild card week. I mean there was three games Saturday and 3 games Sunday.
And because of that long wild card weekend, you know what I brought you? A 40 of Natty Ice.
Yeah.
What do you think? Natural ice.
That stuff's disgusting.
Ice brewed for a smooth taste by
Anheuser-Busch. Do you think it still tastes like metal in the glass bottle?
It's going to be different.
Is it?
There's no plastic liner. Let's give them a pop. Let's just see what they taste like. I got other stuff here. I got other stuff too, but come on. We're heading into TB, beat the Washington, the old football team. Let's give them a cheers. Let's give them a toast. How about that? Let's see. Whoa, we should play Edward 40 hands. Let's just see. Okay.
All right, Natty Ice. God, it smells so bad.
I don't smell the metal.
You still taste it.
That's not that bad.
It's not that good.
I think it's good.
You gonna drink the whole 40?
Not bad. Natty Ice. Better than Ice House.
It's disgusting.
All right, let's put that here. All right, now let's see. Now we're going to go into the craft beers. We like to do the craft beers. We took a break last weekend. I think we had some things to do. Here we go.
What do we got this week?
Okay,
I haven't even seen what you got.
I came with 2 different ones. This is The Way Life Should Be. We're all hoping for that in 2021, correct? And then this is from the Orono, is it Orono Brewing Company from Maine? Perfect. All right, so here, this is one.
Yeah, what else we got?
And then I got another one. People are probably laughing at me because I can't pronounce things. Is it Orono? How would you say? Is that Orono? And then this is Exhibit A Brewing Company in Framingham. Framingham. Okay, so this is this one I thought was cute because it's just a kitten. Just a kitten. New England India Pale Ale brewed with.
The can is pretty funny,
isn't it? It's Brody. It's a little kitten for you.
It's just a pale ale.
It's
2 pale ales.
We're
gonna go with the kitty first.
Let's go with the kitty, little kitty cat.
Let's see the kitty cat.
There we go. Let's see.
It's brewed with Citra, Mosaic,
hey, it's a little kitty.
and Big Secret hops.
Little kitty. Here, look. Come here. Whoa, there's Brody. He's making an appearance. What do you think of the cat? Kitty cat? Kitty cat?
Brody's getting big.
He is getting big.
Right, Brody?
He's got this kitchen table countertop thing going where he does that. He looks up. Is there any food? Can I get some? He's up this way again. There's nothing here. There's no poker chips. There's no chips, period.
Yeah, your dad won't play poker for his car. After he said he would. It's pretty good. I like it.
It is good. It doesn't have like that.
Like the metallic taste
bang.
of Natty Ice.
Well, the Natty. I mean, that was a joke. That was fun. That was a fun thing. Let's see.
No, it's pretty smooth.
No. Here. Would you like to shred? Let's see. Sanitizer. Don't leave home without it. There. Shred that paper up. There we go.
So who are you most impressed with this week in the NFL? What team? Because I don't think a team like really looked like a Super Bowl winning team this week.
I personally think the Super Bowl matchup had a bye during
You
wild
think it's going to be the Chiefs and Packers?
I think it's Chiefs-Packers. I think Josh Allen.
Well, you're going to go against
your
mentor?
What's that?
You're going to go against your mentor?
I don't know if they can do it. I mean, I really do enjoy watching Tommy Boy play, but speaking of Tommy Boy, great movie. Anyway, Brody's chewing up that. It's good. It's good for him. I think that when you watch the wild card weekend, you saw the Buffalo Bills and kind of their issue that could potentially end their season. Josh Allen, at the end of the game, fumbles the football. He was one bounce away from a scoop score. They lose. And everybody's so high on Josh Allen. He's had a great season. But that's that one play that you're like, ugh, that could lose you something. That could lose you a big game in the playoffs. It's those plays in the playoffs that make you lose. And, you know, you look at the Rams, like, what are the Rams? Like, they're going to get beat by one of the better teams in that NFC. And then you look at the AFC. I mean, you go through the AFC, every quarterback is under like 25 years old. They're all super young. So with that young group of quarterbacks, there's going to be mistakes made, and I just feel like Patrick Mahomes is going to be the guy that doesn't make those mistakes. Not a believer in Baker, which people are going to jump on me. I think Lamar.
You don't like his commercials?
Lamar. Oh yeah, come on. He gets in the stadium.
I can't feel my fingers.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's
like
funny. I actually like
bags.
that. I actually like that commercial. But you know, like you look at Lamar. I think he's limited in his ability
Lamar's
to throw
not
the
a
ball.
Quarterback though. Like,
He's an athlete.
Yeah.
So you saw what they did to Tennessee. That's kind of that's how they're going to win. Is you got to run the ball. Lamar's got to have a big play, and that's that one big play that puts you over, you know, into that winning category.
17 of 24 for 179 and a pick.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he rushed for 136 yards.
Yeah.
But he's not a quarterback. He's not.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's all over Belichick for not drafting him. That's one thing that's come out this year. Like, you could have drafted Lamar Jackson. He's just not a quarterback. Like, Lamar is going to lose that little bit of that quickness he's got. And then it's just
over time.
Over.
Yeah, well, he needs to. I also think that the Ravens need to surround him with some better pieces, a receiver.
But I don't think a receiver does it, though.
He can still make the throws.
No, he can't.
He can throw better than Cam.
Yeah. Most people can. Though.
Yeah, you can throw better than Cam. Brody can throw better than Cam. So I just think that when you look at what's left in the AFC, the clear-cut best team is Kansas City. And then you look at the NFC side of things. Tampa, when I watch Tampa, it's like frustrating because they were supposed to have this great defense and they were supposed to have, you know, this offense that was unstoppable.
Yeah.
And they're stoppable. You know, like they've been stopped.
Well,
and they look like they're
not
off.
A good team.
They look like they're off. And you're like, well, what's wrong with them? You know.
One of the problems for Tampa is they can't really run the ball. I mean, they've got a bunch of like star-named running backs, you know, Fournette and McCoy, but they're just not kind of what they've been and all that. No, I know you keep going to Kansas City. I just, if I was Kansas City, I'd be afraid of the Ravens just because the Ravens have a good defense. They can contain Mahomes. You know, Mahomes had the most dropped interceptions in NFL history.
Really?
Yep.
Well,
he must 15.
He must have one of them four-leaf clovers somewhere.
15 dropped interceptions.
Lucky.
15. That's a lot. I mean,
that is a lot.
J.C. Jackson had 9 interceptions, and 8 of them were just overthrows to him.
So, yeah, when you look at what the wild card, you know, it was all great competitive games. I like watching good football.
There was no blowout. I mean, I guess the Browns
what was the guy? Heineke. He came in. He was on the Patriots. They could have used a guy like him that could throw the football. I thought he would have
made the playoffs.
I thought he had paralysis in one of his arm. He was like holding it like it was dead.
He took some shots.
Yeah, he's a big shot guy.
Yeah,
and not alcohol.
He played well. I mean, he was 26 of 44 for 306, touchdown and a pick, and then 46 yards rushing and a touchdown.
That's impressive.
Yeah, when you didn't play with the team.
He is like the type of quarterback when you watch a young kid come in that has nothing to lose, and he just throws the ball. Just throw it. Yeah. If you just throw it and you don't aim it, like that was my dad. My dad used to put his hands on the backstop of the baseball when I was pitching. He'd put his hands on the backstop. He'd look at me and I'd be pitching, right? And as I'm throwing, I'd throw a ball, another ball, walk the guy, throw a ball, and my dad would say, "Robert, just throw it. Don't aim it. Just throw strikes. Don't aim it." Then I'd hit a kid. Then I'd see him walk to the car. And then I'd walk another kid. Then I'd see the car just kind of leave. And I'd say, "Oh, shit, I lost him.
But, your aim was on with the peanut butter and jelly sandwich at the bus drive.
I hit him.
Hit him right in the head.
I'll turn this damn bus around. Oh, man.
Heineke would have been great for the Patriots. He's like the next Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Just a guy that can throw that that has a little bit of what do they call? What's that term that they say? Little not savvy, but a little gunslinger-ish.
Gunslinger, yeah.
Like that's gunslinging moxie. That's what I'm looking for. The mox.
Yeah, you need that when you don't have a lot of talent on your offense. You just need somebody that can just go throw a ball in there. Obviously, Patriots never going to have that. I don't think, because Belichick would probably freak out.
What are the Patriots like? What do you think they're going to take at 15?
I hope Mac Jones.
Did you see that photo of Mac Jones?
Yeah, it looked like Brady.
It's like if I took my shirt off right now. Like, he looked worse than Brady. Brady at least was lanky and skinny. Like, this dude looks thick and kind of like no muscle tone. If you're a pro football player, how do you have no muscle tone? How do you just look like a just?
Yeah,
do you work out? If you work out,
it was just an angle. It had to be just an angle.
No, he had the little like the puffy nipple thing going on.
It was just an angle.
Is the angle for the nipples? Like what? It looked like he was going through puberty.
The thing is, the Patriots have to take a quarterback at 15 or trade up. I don't see them trading.
I don't think they're going to take a quarterback.
They can take an offensive lineman, trade the pick.
They're going to take a punter or long snapper or something that's just completely asinine. I don't think they'll go with a quarterback because I truly think that they're going to go find a veteran guy that they feel comfortable can be.
Who?
Matt said it. Matt Stafford, Jimmy Garoppolo, Matty Ice. Talk about Natty Ice. How about Matty Ice? These would be selling around New England. They'd have 28-3 on it. They'd have the score of the Super Bowl, and then they'd put a line through it, and then it'd say Matty Ice now. And then they would forget about the Super Bowl comeback. That's what would happen.
They can't get Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's like 38 years old.
He's not 38. I think he's 36. Did he bite you?
No. Oh. I think no. Matt Ryan is definitely.
He's 36.
Okay, if he's 36, he's still 36.
That's not that old for a quarterback, especially in this
like
$25
million a year
NFL like flag football game that we play.
He's 35.
35. He's younger than me.
Be 36 in May.
I'll be.
You'll be 37, right?
37.
Yeah.
February 1st.
I'll be 36 in May.
My best birthday gift ever. February 1st, Super Bowl, 2014.
Oh, really?
15.
Was it the first?
It was on the 1st.
Wow.
It was on my birthday. I played the Super Bowl. We beat the Seahawks. That was my birthday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It was about to be a bad birthday, though.
Yeah, almost the worst. It was almost the worst birthday of my life.
Did it go from this is the worst?
I easily
day
could have
ever?
been 0-3 in the Super Bowl. Think about this: lost my first one,
lost second one.
Could have lost the second one off of one throw. Yeah. Could have easily lost the third one. I could have been 0-3. I could have been like the Buffalo Bills of the '90s. Just sour.
You were on the second Giants one.
Second Giants one where we could have won that.
You beat the Ravens. You beat the Seahawks.
Beat the Seahawks and then came back against the Falcons.
You weren't on the Eagles one then?
No, I retired that year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I got a lot of shit for that too.
Yeah.
like, we would have won if you would have played. I'm like, no, that's not true.
Like the thing, like if Malcolm Butler played, we would have won.
Yeah, like maybe, it's. I mean, granted, they had like Cassius Marsh out there getting his ass run over, but.
Yeah, Nick Foles threw 500 yards on you.
I didn't think that was going to happen that game in particular. I'll just be honest. When you kind of walk, it's like your ex-girlfriend, right? The ex-girl, like, dates a new dude, and you're like, man, that dude's better looking than me. He's freaking driving a cooler car, and then like you just hope for something. Like when I retired and they got to the Super Bowl, I'm like, damn it, I should have freaking played. Like I could have had another one. Yeah. And it would have been back to back.
You could have been just like Josh Gordon, got a ring.
Yeah, just got a ring. Could have just been there in the mail. But then they got beat. Which I was drunk at the time.
Yeah, where you're like,
no, I was like, it's a good thing I stayed retired. Yeah. And I saw them lose. I was like, well, I guess I made the right decision because I went through a whole season and like mashed my brains up in the mashed potatoes, and then got there and potentially not won that. Hey, don't eat that! You freaking don't do that. Did that piece fall?
No, it's still kind of hanging there.
All right. I'll put you in that other room and make you cry. I'm not.
Why are you doing another one?
Yeah, this is a bad idea.
Thought he was going to boot camp soon.
He's got to be 6 months. He's only 4 months.
No, I thought he was 6 months.
He's still a baby.
No.
He's got one. He looks like he's got one massive tooth in the front coming in. He's only lost one.
No.
I need some feedback though. Anyone that's watching, have you done the raw diet with the dogs? I kind of feel like if I ate a raw piece of chicken, I'd be on the toilet for about a week and lose 20 pounds.
Digestive system.
Well, I asked the vet about that, and they said don't do the raw because they could get sick. Depends on, obviously, the meat. Anything could get you sick if it has a certain bacteria on it, right?
Every
like we could eat a raw piece of chicken,
and be okay,
and we'd be okay.
Yeah.
But if it had salmonella on it, we'd be in the hospital.
Yeah, but I don't think they can get salmonella.
A dog?
Yeah. Why do you keep biting these?
Because he's a dog, and they just because he wants to annoy us right now. Because he knows we're doing a cool, awesome podcast.
There you go. Right there.
So, shall we bring up the Buick's arrival?
You can.
Do we want to talk about that? Okay.
Well, I know you'd freak out about it.
I freaked out. Okay, so the beautiful Buick Roadmaster Skylark arrived.
It wasn't beautiful.
And I couldn't wait, so I text Dan. I said, all right, I got to go to the dealership. I want to check it out. When I arrived, I was horrified. I was absolutely horrified. The transport company drove a 1954. 54.
Not
beautifully restored.
Like to be.
Beautifully restored Buick that is probably, one of maybe say 400 left because they only made like 800. So as you figure half of them rotten into the ground and they're just back with the earth, the elements.
They're
I've
just looked
gone.
and looked and looked.
They're
There's
gone.
Nothing out there.
So this company picks up the car from Texas,
Houston, Texas,
from Houston, Texas, all the way up to lovely Massachusetts, on an open carrier, an open air carrier, a convertible.
After we paid for
funds were paid for the thing to be enclosed, which you would just look at the car and say, okay, this thing needs to be enclosed because it's that cool of a car. You don't want salt, you don't want moisture, you don't want anything getting into like all the little cracks and crannies of an old car. And I walk in and I see it and it's basically white. And I look underneath it, it's just white salt, like just dust salt everywhere. And I'm like, did this thing go outside? Like, was it just sitting outside? And the guy was like, yeah, they took it on a open air transport all the way up to Massachusetts, which just blew my mind. Like, what happens with that now? Like, do you say to the transport people, like, whoa, I paid I bet you paid 3 G's or whatever to get it.
$3,200.
$3,200 to get that car closed care. What do they say about that?
And it took like 3.5 weeks.
So it was on an open air for 3.5 weeks.
No, they didn't pick it up until like the 2nd of January.
So it probably sat in the rain. Probably had some rain on it.
Could have. I mean, usually most auctions keep those indoors. Part of it is that we started looking at it and it wasn't repped right by the auction. Like we've got some pictures since then of when it was at the auction, what was wrong with it, and all that stuff. So the auction's going to end up having to buy that one back, or give us a large sum of money to basically restore it.
But that's the biggest like fear that I have buying something sight unseen, is that report. What's the report?
Condition report.
The condition report. If they don't give you all the issues that potentially could be with a certain car, and you buy that car, then
you have arbitration.
But then how, like that? I feel like that whole. I just say that word again.
Arbitration.
Arbitration sounds like argue. Like I'm arguing an arbitration over something. How long does that take with arbitration? Like
a couple days. Just
a couple days. You show them like, hey, this was supposed to be this way.
Well, the thing is, you show them this condition report and say this was the report of the car. So, condition report: frame, structural damage, no. Overall description of the vehicle, 4.9 out of 5.
4.9 out of 5.
No interior damage, no exterior damage, no odor. Tires all brand new. Tread depth all brand new. Multiple keys, all manuals present. So basically, when you get the car and it's not as described as this, then it's Manheim Auto Auction, the largest auction, I think, in the world. They have Manheim auctions in Europe, in South America, and all that. So they just buy it back. We buy a lot of cars through them. Mm-hmm. We buy millions upon millions upon millions of dollars worth of car. I mean, we bought $1 million car from them. So they just end up buying it back. We've had to do it once before with a Lamborghini, a Aventador that we got, that when it came in, there was literally a gouge in the fender that was probably about like that big. Gouge from the fender all the way to the bumper.
Like ripped? Or just like
a
massive scratch?
No, it was like gouged in, because like the part of the bumper was gouged, and then the metal on the fender was gouged. And we're like, what do we do here? They're like, we'll repair it for you. I'm like, no, like we can't repair this type of thing. Like the repair itself would probably be $15,000, $20,000.
Yeah.
But then it devalues the car.
Because if you run into, like, when you get into certain cars that are 50, 60 years old, it's not like you can just say, hey, I'm going to go get another piece, a grill, or I'm going to go get,
but
another.
Even on like Lamborghinis like that, it's like, it's not easy to get those things, and they're expensive as can be. Wow.
Just chewing on a Mountain Dew bottle. It's okay. He's going to pass out soon.
Yeah, he's almost done. So, auctions stink when you're buying it online, but you do have a lot of protection of it because of the condition reports. If that car does not come as described, then they buy it back. I mean, to a degree. If you got it
and it wasn't,
there's like a
like a small scratch,
like Rob
or something.
Ninkovich went through the car and is like, hey, there was some rainwater on this frame rail. They're gonna say, you go pound sand.
Yeah.
But when it's completely different, that door's out of alignment, the chrome's all pitted. Because the thing too is, like, even when that thing came in open carrier, the chrome, how it looks, there's no way it was like that.
No.
I think what happened is there's stuff you can buy that you can put on chrome that like temporarily makes it look like perfect, but then once it hits some water and stuff like that, it washes away. And so I think they put it on at the auction.
Yeah.
And that's why the chrome looks the way it is, because there's no way being outside for 3 or 4 days it would pit like that.
Yeah, that's old. Yeah, it was older chrome.
Yeah. So we should have it all set. I got an email this morning on it that it's I think we're supposed to get the check today for it. They asked us if we would keep it, what number. We told them $40,000. So I think they're just going to send us a check for the whole car.
And then you got to send it back to them?
They pick it up. They pay by transport and all that. So they'll pay us back for the transport, which then we'll go off the transport company, because obviously it's one we've used for 3.5 years, 4 years, never really had problems until this past week. We've had multiple problems with them. Because
I'm so crazy. I'm so crazy.
Transport.
And you know that I'm crazy, and anyone that knows me, I'm a little bit crazy. Maybe
just a little bit excessive.
Too much excessive. If I was to buy a car and it came on an open trailer, I wouldn't want it. No, I just would say, I don't want it. Like, can you just go back and just return it?
How do you get the truck you have now? That thing came on an open trailer from Ford to the dealership.
No, but that's a new car. I'm saying an old,
antique car.
Like an antique. Yeah. That, like, I've had the 70 Chevelle that was beautiful. I owned it 3 years. Sold it back to the guy. He actually just hit me up like, hey, do you want to buy it back? I'm like, I don't want it back.
Why?
I overpaid. I overpaid for it.
No.
I overpaid for it. So, and after the Seattle Super Bowl, I was like, all right, I want a Chevelle. And that was like my first old car that I ever got. And I didn't know the numbers, like numbers matching.
Yeah, like all the little things.
I didn't know all the little things that you kind of need to keep
colors.
The value. So it was the right color. It was red with white interior, the white stripes. It was in great condition. It was like brand new, but it was not numbers matching, and it was automatic. So, not a numbers matching car with an automatic is, probably around 45, 50 grand. Like that's what they go for. I paid 60 for it, which was too much. It's too much. Found it on Craigslist, and it was back home, and I was like, all right, I want it. The guy was cool. He's like, hey, just come check it out. The car speaks for itself. I went and looked at it, basically a brand new car. It looked awesome. Brought it here, drove it for a couple of years. A friend of mine worked at like an antique shop and like antique car shop.
Yeah.
And he was like, 45, 50 grand max right now.
How mad were you?
I wasn't mad. I mean, at that point I was like, damn, like, okay, like I still liked it. So that's the one thing too. If you overpay for something and you're never going to get your money back for like what that car is, if you enjoy it and you can still drive it, like it's still like, all right, well, I like it. So for me, it was like, I like it. Like I still enjoy it. It's a cool car. It had the dumps on it. Had a 450, had a stroked 454. So it was like a 496 or something. So it was like loud and cool. Sounded like a cool muscle car. When you dumped it like straight out of the headers, it was like loud, like super loud. So ran a 12 flat quarter. So it was fast. And, he had it all geared for the track and stuff. So it was a cool car. I hit him back up and I said, hey, I'm thinking about getting a newer car. Would you be interested in getting the Chevelle back? Because he had said over the 2 years that I owned it, like, hey, if you ever want to let it go, just let me know first, and then I'll make a choice. Hey, do I want it? So I hit him up like, yeah, 60 grand. I'll sell it back to you for what I paid for it. I know it's worth more, knowing that I knew it was worth like 50. And he was like, yeah, I'll take it. So he just gave me the money back, and obviously I paid tax and title and drove it for a few years, but I still got my money back.
That's lucky.
And he just hit me up like, hey, I'm selling the Chevelle. Would you be interested in it? Same price. Grand? And I was like, no. I just know it's not worth it, especially muscle cars now have dropped. I mean, I bet you that thing's worth 40 grand right now.
It just depends. I mean, everything goes in trends of what it all is. Muscle cars like the stock market. I mean, antique cars like the stock market. It just kind of what gets hot, what doesn't get hot.
I think I like that white, the blue, that like blue with white stripes, the white interior, white convertible top, 70 Chevelle I sent you, I love that car, but it has no documentation. So that they want 125 grand for that car. I would give you what? Like, I mean, it's only worth what somebody, like if it doesn't have documentation, you can't clarify that it's a true SS.
You also can't clarify what was done to it, like what frame is in
it could be like a Malibu. It could be a Chevy Malibu that they made it in SS. What I mean. So it's worth like nothing. It's worth like 25, 30 grand.
Yeah. It's always going to be what the story is behind the car, who built the car and all that. Like I had a 56 Bel Air built by Chip Foose.
Yeah, so that's worth big money.
Full resto mod, all that stuff. We sold it for like $175,000.
Yeah.
But we had all the documentation.
Yeah, it was all like, this is a Chip Foose.
Yeah, like everything with the car.
Yep.
And then you get some cars that you take some chances on because they don't have the documentation, and you see what kind of happens with them. So
like that particular car, I love Chevelles. Like
that car is probably like an
$80,000 car, but they're asking
to take 100.
Yeah, like if you're like, hey, I'll give you 80 G's.
Yeah.
Because it is a nice car, but if you don't have the documentation, it's just like my green 65 Corvette, the C2. That has all the documentation. It has the protective plate. So anyone that's wondering, if you don't know anything about like the older antique stuff, back in like the early 60s, 65, for example, if you bought a Corvette C2, they had it was like a plate that, I don't know, some people don't even remember this. We're old enough to remember. Back in the day, before they had the sliders, we're the same age almost. You remember when you had the credit card and they put it in the thing and they had to do this with it. So back they used to have this. It was a piece of metal.
Imprint machine.
It's an imprint machine. They had a piece of metal that came with the car, and it had your name on it. It had the VIN number of the car, and any type of like service or anything that you had done to the car, they'd take that protective plate, they'd put it on the piece of paper, and then they'd scan it, and that was the documentation. So this car, like that protective plate is basically what gives the car the value. of 60 whatever grand it is. You know, if it didn't have that, if it was just a regular Corvette, no documentation, Mod Podge of a different block and a different body and different color than where it came from, it's worth like 30, 20. Yeah. I don't know. It's not worth really anything.
Well, that's the thing with this Buick. That's the tough thing with this that's pissing me off with it, because this car has all the documentation with it. Has a window sticker, original owner's manuals, original wheels and tires, you know, everything original on the car. And now it's going to have to be kind of restored. So
it's a lot of money.
I did make him an offer.
It's a lot of money.
I'll restore it.
I mean, if you made if you were able to get a car like that, because if you look on like Hemmings or any like classic car site, those cars are 100 for like 150 is like really nice. 200 would be like world class, top of the
Buick,
line.
If it was done,
yeah,
like, you know, it would be $150,000.
It'd be $150,000 car
all day.
Yeah,
long.
so
because it is still original. So even
it's original,
you just have to re-chrome.
So like all the chrome would come off. I looked up chroming. The problem with re-chroming something is they used to have a lot of shops, like places nobody does it because it's basically it kills you. So to re-chrome, you have to dip it in all these different plating fluids, and that process is very dangerous. It used to
cost a couple grand to re-chrome that stuff. It's going to be like 10 grand.
It'd be 10 grand. Yeah.
All right, so I think that's a good time to take a break right now, and we'll be back, talk a little bit about the NFL, maybe some Patriots, maybe some other stuff. Who knows?
Let's do it.
All right,
dirt bikes. We're back from our timeout. Game on.
Yep.
Brody's sleeping. Yeah. No more chewing of our cable or mic wires, anything like that. So let's get into the picks here for post wild card weekend. Now we have the divisional of some real football games. We got the Packers playing. We got KC playing. So let's run through some of these matchups. Let's give your expert opinion on these. I know we tied in picks last week.
I was close because I almost called the upset, the Skins Buccaneers.
You didn't go Washington?
No, I didn't. But remember we said we had that one part at the end, like what could the one upset be? I wish I took Seattle on that thing. They were terrible.
I want to try one of these before we.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, this is. How would you say this? What is that brewing company? Because we got to give them a shout out too.
Orono
Brewing Company.
It's Maine, so it's like it'll be.
So it's
Orono.
Maine, good people, beautiful wilderness, great beer, the way life should be. Brewed with Maine-grown grains, triple dry hop, massive amounts of Galaxy, Mosaic, Citra, Eldorado, and Victoria's Secret. What do you think? They throw a pair of panties in the brew? What do you think?
Secret.
Kidding.
Natty Ice throws some metal in there. That's got a pretty strong smell.
Let's see.
A little pungent.
Pungent to the nostrils.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Nowhere near the smell.
I wonder if people like that when I do. They're probably like, stop that. I think it's it. I go.
I'm surprised you don't bring in your own,
my dad
used
to torture me. I do it to my kids too. I torture them. So I tell them I say I gotta tell you a secret, and then I'll go in their ears, and they're like, get off of me, get off of me. You hold them down. It's fun. Lay down. I thought you were sleeping. Damn it.
All right. So the first game we got on the divisional round is Rams at Green Bay.
Oh, the Rams don't have a chance here. I mean, actually, they do because they have a really good defense. They have a really good defense. Like their defense is.
Their defense might be the best.
Yeah. So if you can get after Aaron Rodgers and you have the DBs that can cover, they're gonna put their best on their best. So I would say Green Bay is going to be in a big fight there. It's going to be a close game, but I want to look at the weather report because if it's super cold or windy, I mean, I just don't think that they have the offense, the Rams, that can like keep up with Green Bay because they're used to it playing in those conditions.
All right. So Saturday looks like 34 degrees and cloudy is the high.
Coming from LA, that's going to feel like 10.
Yeah.
So that's.
Are you really considering this game? Like, you really considering the Rams?
No, I'm not. Okay. I think Green Bay's going to win.
Yeah. No, I think it's definitely Green Bay. I mean, I don't know who's going to be the quarterback for the Rams. I mean,
it'll be Goff. He played, so like he already got in there. They put him in there. He needs to play. The other guy, did you see the other guy with his helmet off? He looks kind of funny. He looks like he might be a leprechaun or something. Yeah. Like he's got the ears and he's
him,
little.
Like going into like the ambulance.
Yeah, he was messed up.
He took a shot. I didn't think it was that bad of a shot.
I think it was more like one of these, and his little brain was rattled.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But I will go with the discount double check in this one.
Yep, you're going here.
Yeah, right there.
Rodgers.
All right.
Hey, Rodgers.
This is probably one of the better games, I think. Ravens at the Buffalo Bills.
I'm going Ravens. Is you going Ravens?
Yeah, that's what I was going to go.
You're going Ravens.
I think what you talked about earlier, I think Josh Allen's going to make some mistakes in there, and the Ravens' defense is good. And, I mean, let's face it, Phillip Rivers last week, he does two good things in life. The two things he does well is he loses playoff games and he makes kids. Yeah. That's the only thing he does well.
I was going to say make kids.
I mean, he loses playoff game after playoff game.
I feel bad for him a little bit. I feel bad for guys that like are really good. Like he's good. He's a good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback. You can't say he's not a good quarterback and never have any playoff.
3.
He's never had any like.
He's had no success.
Like I feel bad for good players that won't ever play in a Super Bowl.
But the thing with him, and I get that, but normally you have to look at like the team around there. They've put some good teams around him, and he just can't win. I mean, some of those teams they played like the Patriots teams that you were on when they were pretty decent. When they had Gates and Tomlinson,
we beat their
and they had
ass.
Good defense. They would always come into that game. Everybody would be like, "Oh, the Chargers are going to be this," and they would just get smoked.
Yeah,
I mean, coaching,
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, so. I'm definitely going to go the Ravens because I think the defense there, I think Allen will make some mistakes. And then the Bills Mafia will go back to crying.
Let's go, Buffalo.
I know who you're picking on this one just because you don't like them, but you got the Browns versus the Chiefs.
Not because I don't like them. The Chiefs are just that much better than the Browns. The Browns are not what everyone thinks they are. And Baker Mayfield, I'm still going to hate on Baker Mayfield. I don't care. I don't know if I don't like his like the way he carries himself.
You don't like anybody that dances. You don't like any dancers.
Yeah, I don't. Just do your job and act like you've been there and act like you're a pro instead of like you're, playing the freaking drums before the game and
eating corn on the cob.
Just go be a good quarterback. I grew up in an era where the best guys just did great things and they just acted like they should do it because they were like ultimate pros. We're in a culture now where it's like, if I do more dancing, like people are going to look at me more and I'll get more follows on my Instagram, like Juju. Like now he's getting clowned because he was doing his dances and they were winning and now they're not in the playoffs.
It's because they weren't any good.
Yeah, but he still took a lot of shit for that.
No, he took the shit for it, but they just played a bunch of bad teams, kind of like the Buccaneers. They just played a bunch of bad teams. That's why they have a winning record. That's why they made the playoffs. The Steelers weren't any good. But I don't think the Browns are that good either. I mean, I don't know if it's the offense. I don't think the offense is that bad. I think their defense is atrocious. I mean, I don't think they can stop anything on the Browns. And Mahomes is going to pick it apart.
I just had a thought in my brain. I just had something flash in my brain. Just boom. And then we're just going to right on the spot. What if on the 650 acres that I bought, you going half on a cabin?
Half on a cabin?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
I just thought about it.
Why would I go half on a cabin?
Yeah, because then you can use it.
I'd probably end up using it more than you. I don't like going all the way up there.
It's not that far. It's 3 hours. It's 2 hours from where you live. That's not bad. 2 hours?
Like 2.5 hours of nothing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Cause you just drive and you relax. Go up there, get on a side-by-side, take the boys out, take the girl out.
I have land in Maine, though, that's like 2.5 hours away.
Oh, you do? I didn't know you had Maine land. Mainland.
Maine.
On the mainland.
Like 140 acres.
Oh, you did tell me that. You did tell me that. I remember now.
Got
all right.
A pond or a stream.
You build your cabin. I'll build mine.
You're never going to build a cabin.
I might put a fifth wheel on it. I want to build a cabin. I really do.
I know you want to. You also bought a snowmobile and you wanted to drive it. And
I did drive it once.
On your street. We don't have
snow.
On your street. There's plenty of snow up
There's
north.
not that snow
on your land, there's plenty of snow.
There's 6 inches of snow right now up
That's
there.
A lot of snow.
It's not that much. I need like 12. Because what if you hit something, a rock or a log?
You snowmobiled on your street around the block.
Yeah, it's a street though. It's there's nothing underneath that except for snow.
How long were you out on it for?
I told my wife I'll be right back. So, and I almost fell off of it, but I was on it for like 15 minutes. And I parked it. I just wanted to see how fast it was.
The winter's almost over, almost in February.
The winter's just starting.
No, it's not. It's been here for a while.
The snow isn't up there yet. There's no snow. Global warming is a serious thing, and I'm serious. The snow up there. Not
there is.
Not like there should be though.
Yeah, there is. There's plenty of snow up there. There's snow at my house still.
Is there?
Yeah. Look at my grass and stuff has snow.
All right. Well, no cabin for you then.
Yeah.
You're out.
I'm out of the cabin.
All right. Where were we?
All right.
I'm sorry. It was a tangent.
The next game, so it's going to be a tough one for you. You have your Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. I know you're picking the Buccaneers.
I'm going Bucs.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to beat the same team 3 times in a year?
You know how hard it is when you're in the playoffs and you have 11 wins and you've only beat one team that has a winning record?
You can stop the Saints. You know how you stop the Saints?
Break Drew Brees' rib?
Yep.
That ain't going to happen, though.
You get to his ribs.
Taysom Hill will
take
still
a
come in
bite of
and beat
them
him.
ribs.
Taysom Hill will still beat him.
Taysom Hill.
And you still have Jameis Winston on the sidelines.
Did you see last week when they took Taysom Hill to the tent? His nostrils bounced off the turf. Like he hit the turf and his head.
Yeah.
I don't. That's another thing too. This is another thing. Like this is another issue that I have sometimes. They take you into the tent for concussions. Obviously, you hit your head. Very hard. When you pass it with flying colors, you're like, yeah, I know the months of the year backwards. I can count to 10.
Is that what they give you?
Yeah, months of the year backwards.
There's some people who couldn't get that though. I don't think.
You memorize it.
No, so you like
December, November, October, September, August, July, June, May, April, March, January, or February, January. Boom, done.
Does Belichick make you guys like learn that in the off season?
No, you just understand that those are the like so trash can, dumpster, firefighter, crutch. Like those are the words. Like those are some of the words that they ask you, and then like 2 minutes later they ask you them again. So you just memorize them all.
No. So same things?
The same.
So where are you going with the Taysom Hill thing?
I was going to say, like, you should have been out. Like, if you get your head hit that hard, you should be out.
Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, you remember, I think it was the Seahawks Super Bowl with Edelman. Was it the Seahawks when he got rocked?
Yeah, he was. I
mean, he was like out, like he was like running around the field.
You got to quit. It's like it's like a little quick, and you're like,
It reminded me of Talladega Nights when Ricky Bobby flipped the car and was running around with no clothes on all over the track.
You slipped up. Hey, we gotta edit that one. That's all right. We're drinking. We look like we're having a party. No, it's fine. It was just a taste test. These were tasting. These are poo poo. These ones aren't being.
I gotta take a picture of that.
These ones aren't having a good time. But then these are slow sippers.
Yeah, the slow sippers. No, I mean. I don't think there's any ways the Buccaneers win this game. None. Zero. Zilch.
I think they can get it done. I think Tommy is going to have one of those like zone in, like just boom, tunnel vision, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
Are you going to cry if that doesn't happen?
No, I'll text him, say, hey, great season. Can I have one of your?
This is his last
can
shot,
I get a watch?
Isn't this the last shot?
No, he's playing next year.
You said a couple weeks. No, he's going to play next year, but this is his last shot to win a Super Bowl.
I might go back on my word on that.
They're going to lose Godwin.
Oh, yeah. They have a great opportunity right now.
And then I don't know if Mike Evans will be disgruntled or what. They have no running back. They have.
But
I think somebody else is up on defense too.
But they do have Tom Brady. So if you're Godwin and you had a great season, he had a good season, right? Or do you think he wants to go somewhere else and be the number one, like the guy?
He's 100% going to go somewhere else.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any question about it. I don't think the Buccaneers can afford him anyway. I don't think they have the money to afford him.
Yeah,
he's gonna get what, like $15 million a year, $18 million a year, $20 million a year.
Probably a lot.
Somebody will give him the money, and the next year they're screwed. They got to come to New England. They got to play the AFC East.
Ooh, scary.
They'll lose to the Bills. They'll lose to the Dolphins. They'll lose to the Patriots. They'll beat the Jets.
mean, so maybe this is their last shot.
This is their last.
It's Tommy's last hurrah at 43.
I think this is their last shot. That team, plus the Arians is terrible. Like
Did you ever notice that he looks purple?
Yeah.
That's not healthy, right?
Well, it's because you have a 4-hour game and you can't drink during the game. so
his blood is not has no alcohol in it.
You stop drinking like an hour before kickoff, 2 hours before kickoff.
You know what I also find, like, the coaches that look the most, I guess, unhealthy, the mask is like completely flat on their face because their neck is like out. So like the mask doesn't like sit on their face under their chin. It's like straight. It's like what I have. It's a complete circle. I can't get a mask under my chin. It's a complete circle. And then like he changed up his look. He didn't do the shield with like
the Andy Reid special.
And he looked. I was like, oh my god, he can't breathe. He's purple. He doesn't have any oxygen.
No, that's from he's like that every game.
It doesn't look good. It doesn't look like he's going to live very long.
I mean, he's just definitely not healthy.
It's not good.
Belichick's pretty healthy, though, isn't he?
He works out.
Like every day, doesn't he?
Yep.
When he's there. Yep. Brad has the same routine.
He works out. Yeah, he's a routine guy. He's on his treadmill, like going through.
When he's on the treadmill at the stadium, does every player avoid?
He's in the back. He goes like literally in the back and just walks. He doesn't walk very fast, and he's got his book of like his install, and he's going through.
Do people avoid him though?
I mean.
Like, you ever walk in, like he was in like the hot tub or something like that, you were like, oh shit, and just close the door and walk out?
Not really, because then that's awkward. So like if he's there, you just, what's up, coach? How's it hanging? 68, pretty low,
Would you be sitting there just like That ever happened?
No, it hasn't happened to me. I mean, I think Edelman told a story of him in the hot tub nude. Who goes in the hot tub nude? I guess if you make $20 million a year, you can do whatever you want.
You're not now,
and you have multiple Super Bowls. Just letting it go. Like, hey, it's warm in here. Come on, it's nice. That'd be a little.
Come on in, Julian. That's why Julian.
Come
stole
on
the
in.
Team.
It's a beautiful 102.
All right. Well, we're talking about Julian. Let's go over the cryptic tweet.
Cryptic. Did he tweet it or he just?
The New England Patriots fans of Dallas posted how Julian Edelman built a $1 million social media presence without incurring the wrath of Bill Belichick, and then they posted an article.
Yep.
And then Edelman retweeted it and said, "Boston, I love you. You've weighed on my mind and my family." Oh, I can't read this. "You've weighed on my and my family's mind for a long time." I read it word for word.
I mean, the issue is going to be, like, I think if Julian's healthy, he plays for New England next year.
I don't think he plays anywhere else. I think it's either
no. I don't think right? I think it comes down to if he's healthy enough to play, he'll be a New England Patriot. If he's not healthy enough to play, I don't know if he can. I don't know what another team would value him at based on, having a surgery, being 35. Because once you hit a certain age and you have, some surgeries and like they have to evaluate, like, do we pay a guy to be a good, like, guy in the locker room? Do we pay a guy
like a number 4
for receiver? Like performance? Like, do we pay a guy, like, how do we pay a guy that's older, that's got a ton of miles on him? Like, what do we value that as? And I mean, I guess like if you're Miami or somebody that has been around him, you understand like, hey, we could use them in spot duty. Like we already have like our guys, number one, like if you're Tampa, for example, you're Tom Brady, you're like, we already have.
So it's either New England or Tampa is what you're saying.
No, I mean, I think that Julian, I can't even talk. Julian or Jules, I was going to say Jules. I think that he would go with Tom and, they would probably have a great relationship like they did here as far as on the field and understanding like where do you want me to be, but it really all comes down to your longevity and how much you can play. I mean, you look at Wes Welker, I think he was retired at 34. Like he didn't even play at 34. So
shortly after that drop in the Super Bowl.
At 35, like 35 is old. I'm 36. Like I haven't played since I was 32. I retired at 32.
Been 4 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the 4th season I haven't played. So I was 32 years old and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, but does Julian have that mindset though?
I don't think so. I think he wants
forced out, right? Like where somebody doesn't.
There's only 3 ways to go out. It's your way, their way, or hurt. So I mean, it all comes down to how do you want that last thing to go? Do you want to be the guy that's like, hey, the door's over there, like your bags are here, we packed it for you, like you had a great career, there you go, or like the training room's there, surgery, I can't run, I can't cut like I used to. And then you see guys, it happens when you're a veteran. You see an older guy come in and you're like, oh my gosh, like that's freaking that guy. Like, ooh, he used to be a Pro Bowler, he used to be a beast. And then you're like, that's kind of sad. John Lynch.
Yeah, he played.
He came to New England for training camp, and we were all like, oh boy, like it's just you have an idea of what John Lynch was from your kid when you're a kid and you're in your childhood, and you see these guys, you're like beast, and then you see him in person, like as you're an older player, you're young, you're like, oh boy.
How bad was that? The worst one that stood out to you?
That and probably
Reggie Wayne.
Yeah. He was just old.
Yeah.
Slow.
He only lasted a couple days or something.
A couple days.
Yeah. Patriots are they're one of the teams that always seem to have like those big
but then you can find a guy like Andre Carter.
Yeah.
Who was a number 2 or number 1 overall pick, like got super paid with the 49ers, played a long time, went to the Washington football team and played a long time.
Yep.
And we got him. He had like 10, 12 sacks in 1 year. And you're like, dang, like this dude's good. You know, like he's insane.
Well, I think it's why Belichick always takes those risks. I mean, obviously a lot of them don't pan out, but you get that 1 or 2. I mean, it makes sense from a risk standpoint. So do you think Edelman plays next year for the Patriots?
I think if it's all going to come down to the Patriots, are they going to be willing to eat that $7 million cap hit?
Yeah, I don't think he's only guaranteed $2.5 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think.
So
the
what does he hit
on
the
$7
cap?
million.
Yeah, it's $7 million against the cap.
Yeah.
It saves them.
But I think the contract's $7 million, but only $2.5 million of it is guaranteed. So I think you'd have to rework his contract.
It comes down to definitely like
I think they'd give him like, okay, you come back and we'll give you $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Or we'll cut you.
You would think at a certain point they would. At least this is how I would do it, but I'm not, worth $4 billion. You would look at, okay, what is this guy giving us in like a sense of what is he giving us with wins, and if he doesn't catch that ball versus the Falcons, we don't win that game. How many T-shirts did we sell again at the pro shop? Oh yeah, like a 500 million worth. Okay, well, let's give him $2 million.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're definitely going to make him an offer. I mean, I don't think they're just going to say, "Hey."
Well, they could say like, "Hey, retire a Patriot, or we're going to let you go."
Yeah,
and that could be a possibility. It's happened in the past to guys, and if you decide to retire,
I think they'll still make him an offer though, to come back, whether it's $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million bucks.
So the problem with retiring after like having a down year is people in general remember the last things that you've done. So like they'll look, and I think it's different for Julian because he had such a crazy like awesome run.
Like in New England, it's never going to matter.
No, but like if he went down to another team and struggled and couldn't play and like was basically on IR, like people would just be like, that area would be like, well,
who's this guy?
Yeah, they don't really care. So if you're a Boston fan, like you always are, like Julian will go in any bar for the rest of his life in Boston, and he'll always have anything he wants in this area of New England. But you go somewhere else, it's different. It's just different. So, I mean, as his friend, I just want what's best for him. Like, I don't want to see him go out there and have something go on to where it's going to affect him long term, to where he can't run or can't walk or can't enjoy life, because you're in your 30s. Like, you got a long way to go before you.
How old is he?
He's 34.
Is he 34?
He'll be 35, I think, April.
Okay.
So, 35 years old, you got a long way to go, man.
So back to the Patriots. You're still on the Jimmy Garoppolo as a starting quarterback for the New England Patriots next
I like
year?
Stafford. I think Stafford.
You're changing?
I think No, I mean, I don't know if you're the 49ers if you just let Jimmy G go. I think if you look at when he's healthy, you got to a Super Bowl. Why would we give that up if we don't get anything in return? If Matt Ryan could get back with his old coach, I think his old coach would probably prefer Matt Ryan over Jimmy G. So if that was to happen, I think that they would be willing to let him go for some equity. But I think if you just look at talent that could potentially be available for the Patriots to go and get, you could go to Detroit and say, look, you guys are starting over. Like, you got a new coach. You need a new everything. You need everything. We'll give you this. We'll give you a pick. We'll give you something to start your rebuilding process with your new coach and your terrible team. Give us Matt Stafford, and that might be a better situation as opposed to the 49ers. You go to the 49ers, you're like, hey, you have your starting quarterback here. You have Kittle. You're ready to win right now. You're not a rebuilding team. They might not be willing.
49ers can't rebuild. I've seen some mock drafts where they're taking a quarterback and stuff like that. They can't. They can't rebuild.
Like, you have to either go with a guy that you feel can help you get over the hump, or you stay with Jimmy G. And I think that Matt Ryan, considering the relationship that the head coach had with Matt Ryan and with the Falcons, I think he'd be okay. I think that he would say to himself, like, hey, I got to a Super Bowl with Matt Ryan. I can do it again.
Yeah, I see that. The Lions make sense to trade Stafford. I mean, it makes sense because they have the 7th pick in the draft. Yep. I mean, you can take a quarterback there, get your quarterback of the future.
Then you get another first-round pick.
Now. I mean,
like, would you give up 15 for Matt Stafford?
No possibility.
No,
because I think you could give up like a 4th for Jimmy Garoppolo if you needed to.
A 4th? They gave him a 2nd. They gave a 2nd up for Jimmy. Or no, actually, they got a 2nd.
They got a 2nd for Jimmy G.
Yeah.
But you got a 2nd because he was on a rookie deal then. There wasn't a lot of money. He was obviously growing. I mean, since then he hasn't played any games. He's basically been out almost more games than he's played. So I don't see – I mean, maybe a 3rd-round pick. I mean, I think Stafford's probably like a 3rd-round pick. Because if you traded – before all this was going down at the trade deadline, it was they were putting a 2nd or a 3rd-rounder on Gilmore.
So that's another issue they're going to have is Gilmore. Like, Gilmore's not going to play for what he's under contract for. So they're going to have to figure that out. There's a lot of decisions that are going to have to be made that are really tough this offseason for the Patriots to jump back into being competitive. I mean, because honestly, right now, I mean, pass rush, linebacker.
The thing is with the Patriots,
J.C. Jackson, I mean, where's he going to be? They probably tender him.
First-round tender him, let him sign somewhere else, get a first-round pick, and then you can start fixing some of those things. But the thing is, like, if the Patriots come up at 15, there's a bunch of mock drafts out there that have Trey Lance available at 15.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like,
but my thing is, like, to get a rookie. But
the thing is, you can sign like a Tyrod Taylor or a Fitzpatrick.
Tyrod Taylor? He's terrible.
Who would you rather have as quarterback, Tyrod Taylor or Cam Newton?
I hate these hypotheticals.
It's not a hypothetical. They're both free agents. If you were a GM right now of the Patriots and it came down to Cam Newton or Tyrod Taylor, who you're signing?
Tyrod.
Yeah.
Tyrod.
But, I mean, Fitzpatrick would be a perfect guy to put in there with a
I don't think Fitzpatrick would want to come here.
I don't think he wants to. He's
played for Buffalo, Miami.
I don't think he wants to.
The Jets.
I don't think Fitzpatrick will want to come here. But I think there's plenty of, like, those fringe – maybe starter, maybe not starters that you can go get a veteran guy, put him behind, see what you get from a rookie, first-round pick in camp, and then make your decision at that point. But if Trey Lance is there, you have to take Trey Lance at 15. Have to.
Yeah.
But Belichick's going to take, like, an offensive lineman.
Punter, long snapper.
No. Or trade the pick.
Or trade the pick. I could see him trading the pick, too, going down and getting a couple of seconds or a bottom, one.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is if they go get Stafford, if they trade for Stafford, he has to spend all that cap money and
if you go get Stafford, you got to go get a big-time receiver.
You got to get Allen Robinson.
You got to guess.
You have to get, like, Hunter Henry.
Yes. You need 2. You don't just need 1.
You need 2. A number 1 wide receiver and a top
good
10 tight end.
Yes. So you're going to have to spend a lot of money there.
And you're going to have to re-sign the offensive line, too, with Stafford.
Tooney's gone. David Andrews can get – I would pay David – 5 years, 50.
Yeah,
I'd give him 10 a year because that's a good fair value for what he's done. Give him 25 guaranteed, 30 guaranteed, 5 years, 50.
And he'd probably sign it, I'm assuming.
Oh, he'd sign it for 8.5 a year, 9. Yeah. I mean, he would, but
I don't think Andrews going anywhere. I think it's 100% he's coming back. I still think there's a good shot Tooney comes back though. It just depends on what they do at quarterback. If they don't spend money at quarterback and they go with a rookie, then I think he's going to sign
They can spread
Tooney.
that money out.
But if you get a rookie quarterback, if you're going to take like Mac Jones or Trey Lance or something with the 15th pick, you have to have a good offensive line around a rookie at least.
Yeah, look at Cincinnati.
Yeah,
freaking blow his knee out.
Yeah, you screw. I mean,
that's a shame, man.
Burrow's older too, so it's not like he's got like a ton of years, comparatively to some of the other quarterbacks. I mean, Burrow, I think he's like 24 years old. I think.
I mean, I think a lot of these guys coming out, gray shirt, red shirt, medical shirt,
transfer.
Transfer. They have 8-year college careers. So
yeah, Burrow's 24.
I mean, I think Winovich was 25, 24. I think he's older.
You think they're going to build the defense around Chase Winovich?
I don't know. I mean, they might.
Yeah, you're right. He's 25 years old.
25. He's a 25-year-old second-year player.
Yeah. So he's 23
when
he was drafted.
21. I was 21 as a rookie.
Yeah. I mean, most rookies are between, 20 and 21?
No, now they're older. Yeah. Now most rookies are 23 years old. Because they're, I was younger. I played my senior year at 17. I played my freshman year at 18. Sophomore year at 19. Junior year at 20. Senior year at 21. So... Yeah,
I guess most people don't come out before senior year now.
No, right? You usually now, a lot of these kids are being held back at younger ages. So like kindergarten, you're holding them back twice to where they're older in their class.
Yep.
Then you go through a high school, you're a 19-year-old senior.
Yeah, because that means you were 4 when you started kindergarten.
Yes. Right? Yeah. So then you go into college, they redshirt you.
What year did you graduate high school?
2002.
Okay.
Or 01. No, I graduated in 02. My senior year of football was 01. Right? Isn't that how that works? It's
no.
When was 9/11?
2011.
11. No.
Yes.
2011.
2001. Sorry.
Yeah, 2001. Yeah. So 2001 was my senior year.
So you graduated in 01?
Yeah.
Or 02. Oh, okay.
No, but it's 02. Yeah, so it's like you play in that year, and then you get the new year coming, and then you graduate. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like it's that.
Yeah, but you're right though. Most kids now start kindergarten at 6.
Yes. Yeah. They hold them back through the older, 11, 9, 11, 11. That'd be like it was 2001 because we were that first, like, I guess when that happened, that was week 1 of the high school season.
Yep.
And nobody was playing except for Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
Even the pros kind of like postpone their games.
Yeah, postpone a week or something.
Yeah, a week.
All right, I think it's a good time for a break, and we'll come back and probably talk about something.
All right.
Yeah.
See you later.
All right.
Time out. Game off. All right, so we're back. Last little third of this this awesome number 17 adventure, which we need to. Damn it, we need to do. We're gonna do an adventure, and I keep saying that, but we have to do it. Stupid COVID keeps messing us up. But I guess I want to get into the one thing that I keep thinking about. And you were like, you know cars, like you're Mr. Dan O'Brien. You've done a great job in the auto industry.
Try to.
What do you think with this EV movement? Like, I'm having I've been reading stuff about the electric vehicle movement and how it's going to go that way. And you have Tesla stock going out of like crazy right now. You have Bitcoin, which is like monopoly fake money going crazy right now, which just like Sunday or Saturday, 1.3 billion was taken off the top of Bitcoin. So if you had money into it, you lost some.
Did you see that guy with Bitcoin that
yeah, he lost his password?
Yeah, he has 2 more attempts.
And he's going to and he
got
can't
like 7,000 Bitcoins.
Yeah, he's got like $240 million and he doesn't know his login.
You can't retrieve the password.
And you can't get the password.
I know.
So you can't access your
how much would you be freaking out right there?
Listen. Bitcoin is fake. It's fake money that you're paying real money for that somebody can control and take your real money and make it zero money. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. I don't get the mining process.
No regulation.
There's no regulation. You have freaking people buying stuff with it that, that could be overseas and illegal, but and your money is in that, or fake money, whatever it is. I have an issue with Bitcoin because I also see people, when Bitcoin spikes, you would think that I bought Bitcoin in 2009 and I put $10,000 and I have 1 million coins. Really? You'd be like 100 millionaire. Can I see those coins, please? They don't have any coins, or they have half a coin, and they're like, I'm up 40 grand. It's like,
can't find my password.
Yeah, I don't know my password, but you have 200 million. So you're telling me you have that many coins in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has such a I guess, concrete structure to where you can't get your password. You're like, so sorry, sir. If you don't know your password, you forfeit your coins.
And we get it.
To us, the miners that will mine your coin and steal it and take it from you.
You don't know your password? I know your password.
So I was talking to a friend of mine, and as I was talking to him, he was telling me about how much value his coin has gone up, and he literally jumped off the phone. He goes, I got to call you back. I can't log in. I'm like, all right. He's like, it's a big deal. If I can't log in, it's a big deal. I'm like, okay. You
never hear from him again?
Yeah, he said, he's like, must be like high traffic or something that made like bounced me off. But he said there's people that are going out and they're like getting into accounts and they're stealing the coins.
Yeah, of course. Same thing as like a bank account.
Yeah.
Just at least a bank account, you're a thing called FDIC insured.
Yes, and the coins, you are just bent over. See you later. Bye. Yeah. Bent over the table.
Yeah, but back to the electric
cars. So I had a question about this. If I have an electric vehicle, and we look at our world right now as we see it, and I understand like emissions and global warming, like all that stuff seems, I can't even ride my snowmobile. So it seems to be true that all these things I know science is saying that it is true. I believe that there is, human engineering and our advancement has definitely affected our world we live in. If every single car has a battery, the elements in a battery come from where?
They're safe.
Where do the elements of the battery come from? Lithium. Where's lithium? Where do we get lithium?
The moon.
The Earth? The Earth. Correct. So we're complaining about us consuming our natural resources that are fossil fuels, but we want to turn to an alternative source of transportation that uses a different type of material that comes from the Earth.
Yeah.
So they're going to mine the Earth's crust for lithium.
Yep.
Every car on Earth, imagine every car that's driving right now is plugged in, and the power's coming from natural gas, or is the power coming from coal, or is the power coming from nuclear, which has nuclear waste byproducts that have to be buried in the Earth's crust somewhere that potentially could leak into our water table and kill us all? Or you have every car that's on the road today has a massive battery the size of this table, right?
That's actually small comparatively, like to what they are.
Yeah, they're huge. They're massive.
Yeah.
And every single one of those cars in 10 years is in a junkyard or obsolete. Leaking. Yeah. They tell you not to throw your double A's in the trash can. Well, imagine a battery double the size of this table just sitting in a junkyard.
Yeah.
What could happen with all that?
It's basically going to be, it's exactly what you're saying is the fact that, who knows what the waste product difference is? Because most cars now are almost zero emissions.
Yes, they're very like, except for like a Hellcat or something,
Even those are near zero emissions now too, because the catalytic converters and all that stuff that are in those cars. So basically, everybody thinks it's like they go back to like a 1970 Nova. Look at all that emissions going out. Yes, that car had pure emissions going out. Like,
when I have the old cars running in my garage, I smell like fuel. Yeah. Like I'm like, ugh, like I stink.
Cars nowadays don't have that. And on top of it, electric cars, just so everybody is aware, the batteries, when you first get your iPhone, right? and you're like, wow, I got the new iPhone.
Yes.
My battery lasted all day this time.
Yeah.
Can you still say that 2 months later?
No. My battery dies every time I'm on the phone with you. It's dead.
Yeah. So basically, the cars out there, like electric cars, like you first get them, they do 200 miles on a charge. A year later, they do 100.
Yeah.
I mean, and people are like, well, that's ridiculous. Why does it do that? Blah, blah, blah. Because it's a battery. It's not.
Slowly over time, it loses its.
If you run your gas car, you put gas in it every few days, every day, every week, whatever. You put new fuel into it. That battery doesn't get new fuel, so it goes down over time.
It slowly dies.
So the only reason why manufacturers are building electric cars, I'll tell you the only reason why, most people don't realize this, is because of California emissions laws. So California emission laws state that manufacturers, every 5 years, they have a certain thing they have to hit of what their average miles per gallon is. So all auto manufacturers do is they build some electric cars, so then it gets them to that miles per gallon section.
Okay.
So they keep creating new electric cars, and they take some away. So Toyota just announced they got rid of the Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
Because it was too much for their average miles per gallon. So they got rid of that and then replaced it with an electric car, which then gives them more miles per gallon.
Then they got a Tundra that'll be 5.7.
So nobody really builds them. Everybody says that they do, and they have all these cars out there and all that. The thing with Tesla stocks through the roof. Do we all know that Tesla really doesn't make any money?
No, they lose money.
Yeah.
They lose money.
Like, everybody thinks the stock market, these great companies, look at all this money they make. Well, Amazon's only been making money now for 2 years. So people have been ordering crap on Amazon Prime for 10 years, 15 years. They just started making money. Everybody looks at Ponzi schemes like Madoff and all that. That's what the stock market is. It's all based upon value is based off perception. There's a company called Carvana.
I see it right now. You think I would buy a car on Carvana?
You would.
No.
Oh, man.
I see the commercials. I'm like, so you're telling me I buy a car, you deliver it to my house, and I've already paid for it, and I can't reject it?
I think for an adventure, you should buy a car on Carvana, and we video when the car comes in of what you do.
No, because then I'd have to actually purchase a car on Carvana, and it would freak me out. I can't do it.
What if I buy it back? I guarantee I'll buy it back.
I'll use it. I'll put it in the used car lot.
So anyway, Carvana,
straight from New Orleans flooding or something.
Things you don't know where the car
you don't know where it came from.
So what Carvana does is, so everybody's aware, I'm a new car dealer, right? Mm-hmm. So today I'll take in a 2019 Kia Sorento as a trade-in.
If that car sits on the lot for a certain amount of time, you sell it to Carvana.
Yeah, or if the car, I take in a 2017 Kia Sorento in trade.
Yeah,
I run it through my shop. Just say, what's wrong with this car? And I'm like, you know what? It's going to cost me $4,000 to get this car ready to go on the front line. So I'm going to send it to the auction. And Carvana buys that car.
Yes.
And then they sell it to you.
Yeah.
So also Carvana, that people don't realize, is Carvana has lost, I think it's something like $500 million since inception. But their stock price goes up every day.
It doesn't even make sense.
Because how can they make any money, right? They basically... They buy a car from me for X amount of dollars, and they sell it for maybe $500 more than that.
Yeah, so they make 500 to 2 G's per transaction.
They're not even that. They
but
run $800
who wants to buy that? I want to know the people that are buying those cars.
There's a lot. They sell a lot of cars. They sell a lot of cars. They don't make any money.
Is it people because now is this a younger generation of people that are so lazy that they can't get up and go to a dealership and look at a car? Or that's part of the enjoyment of buying a new car, getting a car. You go and you look at cars and you say, nope. Look at the swirls. Oh, scratch, up, corrosion, up. Wheels have never been cleaned by hand.
Yeah.
It's like.
It's because the perception of
look underneath.
I
would rather look underneath a car. And you look at everything. You look at the front skirt. Is it grandma driving it that hits a 3-foot curb every time she pulls up to the parking lot?
All the frame rails busted up.
Yeah, all the frame rails or the sides. This guy took the turn too tight and freaking just smashed the underside of this corner, the underside.
It was in an accident. You can see where it was repaired.
Yeah, or for me, these are the tricks. If you want to listen, you take the door. You open the door jamb. You run your finger by the door jamb to see if there's any paint lines from being repainted. You open up the gas door. You look inside the gas area where you would fill it up, because where they repaint a car in the back quarter or something, they just tape that off and then they repaint it. So you can see a different line of paint. So these people that are like, oh, it's never been hit, because it's anything on Carfax is basically what's reported. So if you have a car, I wreck my car and I don't want to run it through my insurance, I just pay for the repair. It's not on my Carfax. It's clean title. So that's the thing. People, there's ways to get around saying, oh, it's a clean Carfax. And when you take a trade and it goes to I don't know how people do that, but I don't understand the whole like California. I don't know what year it is, but they won't sell any new cars. 2025 in California. That's why California, most of the people are going to Texas, and
they're bankrupt. They're going.
They're going to be bankrupt because everyone's leaving. They're losing all their income tax.
So basically, almost all of the non-Detroit auto manufacturers, their headquarters used to be in California.
Yeah, they're
all moved out because of how much they're charging on
taxes. It's ridiculous.
So Toyota
in California, you basically make 40% of what you're working for.
Well, this is what tells you what it is. So Toyota's headquarters were in Irvine, California, or one place around Irvine. They moved to Texas, and when they moved to Texas, they offered all the employees like, "Here, you can come with us, but if you don't want to move, that's fine."
Yeah.
So they thought they would have to hire 90% of the staff in Texas. 82% of the people left California and went to Texas.
Yeah, they want to go to Texas. They want
because
no
guess what?
state
Instead
income
of having
tax.
A 1,500 square foot house, they bought a
7,000 square foot house. Yeah, 5,000 square feet for a quarter of the price.
Yeah.
I was looking yesterday on Realtor.com. I was just looking at Dallas, and it's like, what can $3 million get you? It's like insane.
Yeah.
Insane amount of stuff you can get down south.
Yeah.
I was almost down south, but I had an insane house down south, but I was also in a flood area, so it's
Yeah, but basically the other thing you're going at with electric cars is it's not viable. It's not a fully viable system. I think there's more viability in hydrogen cars than there are.
I agree.
In electric cars. Electric cars is a fad. People think it's the same thing with car dealerships, right? Like I could have a car on the showroom floor. I could have a Telluride on the showroom floor, right? And it's a $52,000 Telluride, and I can write $30,000 on the windshield of it. Say I'll sell the car for $30,000.
Yeah.
95% of people will come in and offer me less money than that.
Yeah.
Knowing that the car is $20,000 undervalued. So people just kind of have that perception in their head that it's all a negotiation. We try to take that out and try to basically price cars accordingly, the right way, and all that stuff, and not have the negotiation. But it is difficult because people are just kind of used to it. So they like the Carvana way because there's no negotiation.
It's one price,
yeah.
Which I get.
Yeah.
There's a dealership back in Illinois. It was Bettenhausen Dodge. That was my dad used to buy his trucks because it was no haggle pricing. So it was, they had the MSRP on the window, and then they had one price, and that was it. They didn't have car salesmen. They just had people that would do the paperwork. So you could go to the dealership. You could walk around. You could look at the cars. You go ask for, hey, can I look at this one? The guy just gives you, hey, check it out. Like you tell me what you like. No, that's the price. There's no under. Like that's what it is. And they have success. I mean, they've been around a long time, but it's similar to Carvana. They're just like, hey, this is the price. And people, I mean, in general, like my grandpa before he passed, like he wanted to buy my grandma a car. I think he liked to walk in and say,
people like to negotiate.
Yeah, he liked to walk in and say, yeah, what's that? Oh, it's 40,000. I'll give you, 38 cash.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people say like cash is king. It's like, like financing actually makes them more money.
Yeah,
so it's, but at the end of the day,
that's like my wife, we're in Peru, we're in a market, and and in Peru you go to the markets and you negotiate. That's what people do. So my wife's getting so into negotiating and everything. And I finally looked at her at the end of it. I'm like, you do realize you just negotiate with them like 80 cents for like 20 minutes, and you're just going back and forth.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, it was like this. I'm like, you're using their currency on it. I'm like, just whatever it is, just get it. Like it's not even worth the hassle of it. But some people just like to negotiate. I mean, I'll tell people all the time, listen, I'll give you a price, and it's the best price.
Yep.
Or we can play the game of negotiation.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
say
go
this
down
price,
from the MSRP,
and I'll give you the hint that I won't go below this. So we'll start going. Let's go and see what we can get at. So that's why we put a system in that's all electronic now. So we can literally get somebody a price, a payment, whether it's retail, lease, cash, or whatever, with the trade-in value and everything. We can get somebody that information faster than you can run the 40-yard dash.
I'm pretty slow. So
what's that, like 5 seconds?
I think I can run a 4.8.
Yeah, definitely faster.
4.8 now. 4.8. No, maybe 4. Maybe not 5 flat.
We're like the 4-second range.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, so it gets all the information out there. But
I don't get. I mean, the EV thing. I do think that Hummer is badass. That Hummer that's coming out.
Performance.
That's
EVs.
A performance. That's a performance electric vehicle, which is cool. Like, it's a niche that it's not your everyday. I'm not driving to Chicago with it. I was at a Tesla thing. They had it in a mall. I think it was in Natick or Natick. However you say it, Natick. And they had like a little Tesla, and I was at the computer. I'm like, oh, I wonder how long it would take me to go home, like to my parents. And it was like I punched it in. And it was a 15-hour drive with a Tesla was 26-hour drive. It's like, well, that one day that I could do it would turn into 2 days, and I'd have to stop and
then you have to pay for the hotel. Which is more expensive than the gas it costs to go.
And then if you see anything about like people posting about holiday travel, like in California, where there are a lot of electric vehicles, there was a 3-hour wait in a line about a quarter mile.
Your car
has no batteries, and you need a gas-powered tow truck to come help you get to the charging station, which was loaded up with people. So, I mean, I get it. I understand it completely that electric and being environmentally safe, like, or changing the way we think about like emissions is definitely something. But think about this. My ass ain't getting on an electric plane. No way. So you can do all you want with technology.
But we charged it beforehand.
Well, the plane had 40% charge, and then guess what? We had to do a couple circles of the airport because of weather, so we had to be in a holding pattern, and they fell out of the sky. So, like airplanes, ships, heavy equipment, semis, tractors, everything you possibly can think of, some things can't go to electric. How many batteries do you think you need to have a ship cross the Atlantic? Like, come on. Like, it's just ridiculous.
The problem is the sustainability of it, because it doesn't, just so we're all aware, they don't have staying power. They're not going to last.
They're not going to
last a long time or anything like that. Like,
that's why a Tesla,
like that 1,000 horsepower Hummer, it's 1,000 horsepower the day you drive it. 4 months later, it's probably 950 horsepower.
And it's just going to go down. It's going down. Yeah.
It's never going to be there. It just can't. Like, the technology is not there yet.
Yeah.
So, and it's correct. Like, we have to lower emissions and all that stuff to help with global warming and all that. But let's put the money into something that is
like
sustainable.
Technology that you can use.
That you can get there. Like
like
I think hydrogen can be there.
Guess what? Global warming, you know what it's creating? A water problem, because we're going to have flooding everywhere. So what do we use? Let's use some water. Let's use that.
Hydrogen is definitely the way to go, but it's like anything else. It's infrastructure. Like, you can come up with the technology, but then you have to have the infrastructure to go do it.
Like we don't have enough charging to have every. Like you would be stuck for days if every car needed a charge. Like we wouldn't have the charging ports necessary.
Well, then the other thing that's going to happen is, so people realize, is if you stop using gas, those gas businesses then have to make money. So they're going to create charging stations that you have to pay for.
Exactly.
So everybody thinks
like, so it's free.
No, it's not free.
You're going to charge your car for.
You're going to have to pay for it.
Yes.
Like, it's the fastest charging stations don't charge these cars that quick. Like, I mean, most people that use electric cars.
A half hour.
Yeah, most people use electric cars. They're people that have like 20-mile commutes, 30-mile commutes that they go to work, and usually they have like a charging station at work.
Plug it in.
They plug it in, then they work, and then they come out and it's full, and they go home and they plug it in at night, and then it charges at night where it's cheaper, and then that's when it works. But like, if you had a 90-mile commute to work one way, you're not driving an electric car. If you are, you're definitely going to test the boundaries of that. Electric vehicles don't really make much sense just because the sustainability of them. But I do think a hydrogen car was. I think Honda has had one in testing.
What was
for
like
about 5
Nikola?
years.
Was it like Nikola? It was like a truck manufacturer.
They've got one.
Something happened to them though. Like they put everything to bed. Like we're not coming out with a truck
because the stock market didn't like it, so they didn't have enough funding and it was gone. So Honda's had a hydrogen car. Crap, I think they started like 10 years ago testing in California. So they had a limited amount of people that were Honda customers. If you had like 3 or 4 Hondas, you could apply to get it. They charged like $500 a month and include all the maintenance, everything, the car, all that stuff. And it was hydrogen, and they had like stations like in this one city where it was, and they had people use them. And they seem to have worked, but they can't get it to catch on to the masses.
I looked this up, and I don't know if this is accurate, but I looked up how many years of fossil fuel we have. globally, we currently consume the equivalent of 11 billion tons of oil from fossil fuel. So we will run out of fossil fuel in 53 years.
Yeah, I can see that.
53 years, no more fuel.
But the thing is, these batteries aren't the answer to it.
No. So we need to figure it out. And I'll be dead in 50 years, so my kids.
Maybe not. You'll only be in your 80s.
Are you kidding me? I'll be in some mall somewhere, like sitting there nude, having the police officers cuff me up. Like, this 80-year-old man's here nude. Did I tell you I played in the Super Bowl? Cuff this guy up.
Do you tell your wife just to basically pull like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with you, and when you start talking, just put the pillow over your face?
I'd say just deep end. Oh, he's gone.
Is that what you've asked her for? Or you just say, like, put me in a home and just leave?
I say, just put me on a boat full of fuel.
Just let it go.
Just let it go straight in the Gulf in the middle.
You never know. You got out young enough.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
I mean, how many concussions have you really had?
I don't know. I don't want to go into those. Those are scary. It's not that. I mean, I haven't had many like documented concussions, but it's like,
how many do you think you've had? Like, if you had to put a number on
true concussions?
Yeah.
Like a true concussion?
Yeah.
Like a knockout?
No, just a concussion. Like whatever.
What's a concussion though? Is it like
they deem a concussion?
What's a deemed concussion? A bell ring?
Yeah.
10,000.
No, stop. Yeah. Is it
a bell ring? Like what's a bell ring though?
Well,
is it like
a concussion? Isn't it?
Is it like ding?
When your brain bounces off one side of your skull?
Okay, so if that's the case, I played in 1,000 snaps for about 8 years, 8,000 plus practice, plus college, 10,000 brain shakes, easily. Every time you hit somebody, your brain moves. Yeah. It shakes. It's a bowl of Jello.
Yeah.
So like, is it that, or is it like oh?
How many bad ones have you had?
3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, were you
my last year playing, I got one.
Were you out of the game?
Super Bowl.
No. Have you ever been removed from a game for a concussion?
One.
When?
Seattle. I think it was 2013. I got knocked out on punt team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Out cold?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I mean, I got hit.
I just remember waking up. I was in the locker room.
Well, the funny story is I was on punt team, and I was like a guy that played punt team and started every game. So, like,
yeah.
I don't know why that was the case, but I guess they didn't
like
have
a normal Belichick staple?
They didn't. Yeah. They didn't have anybody that can run down on punt team and start every play on defense. So I was
so few of those
going down on kick on punt team. Saw the guy return. He was on the Patriots sideline. Was cutting back this way, and I guess I got earholed. Like I was coming to make the tackle, and then like somebody hit me, and I just dropped. But I watched the tape, and I got hit, and I hit I just KO'd real quick, hit the ground, got up, went to the huddle. Got the play, was on the wrong side of the field. Imagine a 4-3 defense with your D end, tackle, D end, linebacker. It was D end, tackle, nobody, linebacker, me. I was behind, off the ball, behind the D end, not knowing what the hell was going on. And Russell Wilson just took the ball and scrambled. Like, he just took the snap and ran for 5 yards and slid. And they're like, and then Bill, I just remember him screaming like, "Get him off the field! Get him off the field!" So.
They didn't take you out when you got knocked out?
No.
Yeah, because they really don't do that. They say they do, but they don't. Do you have any protection?
What do you mean?
Like long term from the NFL?
No, nothing.
Yeah, so like if you started
see you later.
Like bathing in like a fountain at a mall or something like that, they're not going to do anything.
Just put them in the deep end.
You got nothing?
They don't give you anything.
I thought there was like all this money that was going towards like CTE.
There's nothing going for that. I mean, it's for guys that were in the. So you had to be in the settlement to get any of the settlement money. I was playing. You can't put yourself in a settlement while you're a football player.
Will there be a second one then?
There's going to have to be.
There'll be a second one.
There has to be a second one.
Yeah. You going to join it?
I don't think. I mean, depending on if I'm,
Just if
I'm a master debater in a mall somewhere,
eating the freaking urinal cake set at a mall.
Yeah. If I'm chewing on styrofoam and saying this is a great Twinkie, maybe my family will. I won't know what the hell's going on, But it's like, it is what it is. I mean, people ask me all the time, like, would you do anything differently? I didn't know. Like, you didn't know anything differently. So it's like when I was growing up in my childhood, like, football was a certain way for years. And then it wasn't until the end of my career that we saw, like, oh, well, these guys are screwed up. Like, people are messed up. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I feel like I played a long time. I did play 10 years. It's 11. I played 11 years.
Did you watch the movie, the Concussion movie?
I can't watch it. What? I can't watch it because it's like there's no need to like.
It's the one they really highlight I forget his name from the Steelers.
Yeah. It's bad. I mean, I couldn't do it because I played football for a long time. Like,
so what, you won't watch it?
No, it's like why even think about it?
Yeah,
you know,
you definitely think about it.
Yeah, but why watch the film?
You literally call your money blood money.
It is blood money. It's blood money. That's why the guys that hold out and guys that go and they do what they have to do to make as much as they can. Like, I have no, like, people are like, oh, they're greedy. They want to make. It's like, come on, like, just if you were a businessman and you were trying to get a deal done and somebody's trying to lowball you, it's not like you're gonna be like, oh yeah, they're gonna offer me $2 million for an $8 million building. It's like, no, screw you. Like, it's worth this much. I'm giving you this much. You're going to make this much. You're going to make a lot of money off of me. Why would I give you a deal? Like, I would need to make the most I can in my career. And I don't have any regrets with my career. I played a long time, provided for my family, made a good amount of money that I can live a certain way. And, you know, do I ever look back and say, man, I wish I would have made more? Of course. Like, I think everybody says, like, oh, I could have made more on this or that. But you know, I look where I came from. You know, I was a free agent tryout guy for the Patriots, and I played a long time. I made a lot of money, and I made, you know, memories with having 2 Super Bowls. And, you know, at the end of the day, I was always raised like, you do what you're supposed to do for your children, for your family. Like, if I don't live as long as I should, like, yeah, it sucks. Like, my kids won't have certain things because I won't be around, but, like, I gave them a better bringing a better life than they would have had if I was, I don't know what I would do, an iron worker. Nothing wrong with iron working, but, like, I don't know. Like, it's just, you don't know. So it's like anything about life. You take risks when you're young. You look at your shit when you're young. You're like, damn, that was stupid. Like, why did I do that?
Yeah, no matter which way.
Yeah, no matter what you do. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I don't watch Concussion. No, I don't want to see.
You want to see Will Smith?
I don't want to see Will Smith say the head trauma is bad. You know, it's like
you gotta watch it.
No, I'm not watching that.
Why?
I don't want to see a guy go oncoming traffic head on and, like, end his shit. Like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
that's bad news because I know guys that have, you know, killed themselves.
Did you play
over
with
stuff?
Sale?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, you've been there.
I've seen guys, you know, I played with Aaron Hernandez, who had stage 3, and he had no frontal lobe or anything. You know, it's like, that's bad.
The scary thing with that, though, is he had that before he came to the Patriots.
Of course he did.
You know, like,
that's the
crazy thing. I mean, when he was in
college,
college,
so, like, it's like,
that.
You know, is it like smoking PCP? You know, like, is that good for your brain? No. Like, you can't do that. So there's a lot of factors that go into maybe potentially having certain cause and effects of brain function and all that stuff. So, you know, you live a good life, you live as healthy as you can, you do the best you can, and guess what? We're all going to the same spot anyway.
Yeah.
That's either 6 feet under or in some Taj Mahal up in the air.
Yeah.
Or baked in a little easy bake oven. Like, you know, we're all going there. Just depends on timing of it. We don't know. Well, nobody knows.
At least you're 4 years out now, though.
Yeah, I'm 4 years out. Yeah. You know.
You gotta think it would happen like in the first couple of years, right?
No, it happens later. They call it progressive. So that's, I mean, I feel fine.
Do you get tested at all?
No, they can't test it. It's post-mortem.
No, I know, but, like, do they, like, test your memory or anything like that?
My memory's good. I feel like, you know, when I do the brains test stuff, I'm
great.
I remember shit. I remember everything. I remember kindergarten. I remember literally kindergarten.
Do you ever see, like, the doctor, like, you know, like, yeah, Rob. You know,
just, like, my neighbors are, like, neuro doctors, and they're like, you played football for how long? I'm like,
yeah, they're probably
10, 11 years. They're like, oh boy, that's good for him.
They put a fence up the next day.
Yeah, like, they don't talk to me. They're like, oh, simple football player. No, that's another thing too. I find that in the last, like, 5 years, you know, like, I was working for the, like, Boston Private, going to, like, events, and you do find that maybe an athlete gets judged a certain way based on, like, their competency of, like, is this guy an idiot? Is his brain damaged? Does he Does he inflict pain on himself? Is there something wrong with him?
You have like the little that walks up to you. Oh, you played football. And
I'm so sorry. What do you feel about the movie Concussion? You nervous? Are you nervous? It's like, I don't know, man. Like, I should avoid it, I guess. I would say this, though. I didn't like getting hit. And I didn't hit, like, there's some people that hit really hard. I was never a hard hitter. I was like an avoider. But, yeah, you're going to get friendly fire. You're going to get, like, certain things that just happen with the game. But I made it out. I'm fine. What's this? The way life should be. The way life should be. But I think that's going to do it. I think that's a wrap. Let's end this on a great note, a positive note. Episode 17.
Yeah. Rob remembered episode 17.
We're not watching Concussion. There's no need to watch that. Okay, Will Smith. Thank you so much. Yep. But that's a wrap. I'm going to go look at the Buick. I'm going to go be angry at what I see.
You're going to freak out. But
did you get the salt off it at least?
No, I haven't touched it.
Oh. It's sitting there.
I can't touch it. I have to wait for them to come out and look at it. I'm not going to touch it.
They're coming out to look at it? Yeah. Did they ask you, did you close carry it home?
No.
All right.
Not going that route.
Cut. All right. End of 17. We'll be back.
See you guys next week. See us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all 9 yards.
The plug.
See you guys next week.
See ya.